Hey guys, Station X here, and welcome back to another edition to Road to Switch, where I try to attempt to collect every single Nintendo Switch game. And with this pile here, we mainly got, mostly, with the exception of two, all recently released games or new releases from 2023. And I wanted to take a look at these games because there's been a lot of rumors, obviously, that the Nintendo Switch 2 or whatever the next Nintendo system is going to be coming out by the end of this year. And I figured I have some really cool games here that you might want to buy before that thing comes out. And assuming that they would have backwards compatibility, considering a lot of Nintendo systems do, these would be awesome games to really kind of have for when that thing does come out. But without further ado, I just want to kind of just get into this pile here with the first game we have on this list is Mortal Kombat 11. Now, I know what you're probably going to say, well, why am I not talking about the first one? And I think I could kind of answer that with just this simple image. Yeah, like, that's pretty bad. Mortal Kombat 1's not the greatest game, and for $70, I would just never recommend that to anybody. But Mortal Kombat 11, while still not, like, as good as the Xbox One and PS4 versions, in my opinion, this one isn't, like, a horrible port. I mean, this definitely still gets the job done. If you wanted to have some Mortal Kombat goodness on the Nintendo Switch, then this isn't a half bad game to actually try out and use. If Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. Now, this title can be used in multiple ways, but for me at least, it was about time I actually got this thing, because of the fact that I have the original trilogy, both the original versions and the remastered versions, specifically the remastered on Switch, and I even got the remaster for Crash Team Racing, so this was the only one on Nintendo Switch that I was missing for the longest time, and this is a brand new original game continuing that original trilogy. While Crash Bandicoot had games come out after the original trilogy, I don't think any of them really continued directly, at least, the kind of story, I guess you could say, from the original three. They just kind of went on and did their own thing, but this one is directly related to those first three, so that's pretty cool. WarioWare Move It. Now, if you've never played a WarioWare game before, they're basically just kind of like these small little mini games in a sense that are just bite-sized fun. And funny enough, I think this is the first time that Nintendo has put out two WarioWare games on the same system, as far as I know. You guys correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but you know, they had the Get It Together game I think a year or two ago, and then we finally got another one, WarioWare Move It, which is funny as well because I believe that they're, for like the longest time, we haven't gotten a WarioWare game for Switch, and here we have one now, because the last game before Get It Together was the Game & Wario game on Wii U, which it was a pretty long gap in between, and with this and Get It Together, it was a very small gap, which I thought was pretty funny. But this one is one to check out. Next up, we have Super Mario RPG, an all-time classic game on Super Nintendo, finally getting a remake, which is, I think, well-deserved, because this thing is pretty awesome, and the Super Nintendo one is decently hard to get. It goes up there in price from time to time, but basically, it's a Mario game that's an RPG, the very first one of its kind. And it's what kind of inspired the Paper Mario series and the Mario and Luigi games that would come out on Game Boy and DS and stuff. This one, now the original version was made in collaboration with Square Enix, which is why we never got like a direct Mario RPG sequel, because they ended up moving over to PlayStation when the PS1 came out. But yeah, I mean, I was really excited when this was announced, and I finally was able to get my hands on it. And yeah, I mean, the only thing I will say though is the cover is very unimaginative. I mean, I thought it was fine when it was just like the coming soon cases, and then when I saw that this was the final artwork for the case, I was like, I don't know if that's just me, but I thought it was a little silly in my opinion. But you know, I mean, at least the game's good, you know. Naruto X Baruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. Now, I'll be the first to say that this particular version, like the Connections, is not the greatest in the series. there's definitely better Ultimate Ninja Storm games, but there is no real Ultimate Ninja Storm for Nintendo Switch. Like 4 is not on there, and none of the other previous ones are on the Switch either. So as far as like playing a Ultimate Ninja Storm game, it isn't like, it's not like Mortal Kombat 1 levels are bad, right? It's just minor things, in my opinion, that kind of hold it back from being a really good Ultimate Ninja Storm game, particularly the voice acting. If you wanted to at least try out a Ultimate Ninja Storm game and see how it played, this is not a bad one to play, especially if you only have a Nintendo Switch. Persona 5 Tactica. Now, I will say that while Persona 5 is one of my favorite Persona games of all time, there are a lot of spin-offs. I think Persona 5 has the most amount of spin-offs, and when this was announced, I started not getting as excited for them, because it's kind of like an inevitability now, in a sense. But, you know, I mean, this one was pretty cool. I mean, I do love the cast, I love the characters, and I do like playing story aspects and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm excited to give this a try and see how this plays, but I wasn't, like, super excited for it. But, I mean, they usually turn out pretty okay. You know, I just never got as hyped as I did with the original Persona 5 and then the Royal version on Nintendo Switch, which was pretty nice. We have Sonic Superstars, and this is a 2D Sonic game. I don't know if anybody else has this opinion, but I think Sonic is at its best in 2D. I think for the most part, whenever it goes to 3D, it's either a hit or miss, whether it's either really good or it's really bad. But with 2D Sonic games, very rarely do we ever get like a really bad 2D Sonic game, because even when the 2D Sonic games aren't at their best, they're still pretty fun, and this one's no exception. I mean, like, I love that it's using the kind of like the, I guess you could say, the Sonic Generations art style for it, because it's like classic Sonic. It's not the 3D Sonic look that we usually get. But yeah, I mean, this one's fun. I mean, it's definitely a better direction than Sonic Frontiers, because I was just not a big fan of that one in particular. But at least we got like a cool 2D Sonic game here. Got 2 sports games, FC 24 and NBA 2K24. Now, I know it may not seem like it, but I am a decent fan of sports games. I think when they're done correctly and done awesomely and have, you know, at least a level of respect to them, sports games can be really, really fun to play. Now, Nintendo Switch doesn't usually get a lot of good sports games, especially when it comes to soccer, because of the fact that, you know, EA likes to just put out a legacy version of FIFA. One in particular is the first soccer game that EA's produced that isn't FIFA, because of the whole licensing agreement that they don't have anymore. They are now calling it FC 24, but it's basically FIFA, just without the FIFA name. And I actually am a big fan of NBA 2K at the very least. I mean, I'm not like a super hardcore fan, but I do enjoy them from time to time, but I don't play them every year is the key difference. The last time I've played like all the sports games in a particular year was in 2018, I guess, or it was technically 2017, because it was NBA 2K18 and FIFA 18 at the time. So, and that was the Switch versions in particular. I enjoyed those, especially since I didn't really try to play the story mode or anything. I would just play exhibition. That's why I say, like, I think it's for simple fun playing sports games. I think they're okay. So while these are probably going to get replaced by the end of the year, by the time the Switch 2 comes out, you know, I still think these are fine games. I mean, they're basically similar every year. So, I mean, in a sense, like, at least the core gameplay is okay, and like I think I enjoy it. And the last one, I will admit, it's kind of a lame one, just because it's not an actual game, Fortnite, of course, because it's a free digital game, but I wanted to include it because I do get these from time to time, and that is the Fortnite Transformers pack, and this includes some V-Bucks as well. But yeah, I mean, Fortnite, if you haven't played it, which I don't think, I think most people have played it, but if you haven't, it's a pretty decent free-to-play game. It's a battle royale. I have some cool characters that you can play as with it, because they do a lot of collaborations. I mean, this one in particular is with Transformers, and so I do enjoy playing it from time to time. And with this, I think this was probably my, I want to say 3rd or 4th pack that I bought for this, because I did the Anime Legends, I did the Last Laugh a while ago, and there was maybe another one that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. but I am a decent fan of Transformers as well, and so having these two together is pretty nice. That will do it for this episode here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below about my pile here. Do you think it was good or bad or indifferent? Who knows? But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As well, if you enjoyed this video and want to support my content in the future, a like and subscribe always helps out the channel. And as always, I've been Station X, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Baby, you